It's now time for oral questions. The member from Halton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Minister of Economic Development. Minister, you're fairly new to the economic development portfolio, but I trust by now you are in full swing of things. Certainly, you were shuffled into your new position at a very difficult time, but at the same time, you have been given a great opportunity to prove yourself as an economic leader. You have an opportunity to be creative, bold, and innovative. Minister, what new initiatives have you introduced to help Ontario recover from deficit, from the rapid loss of manufacturing core, and from our historic descent into have-not status?
Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there's a lot to work with in that question. I appreciate the member's comments and his sentiments there. I'll say, Speaker, that certainly one of the jobs of the Minister of Economic Development today is to administer the existing Next Generation of Jobs Fund, Advanced Manufacturing Loan Program, as well as the regional programs that are in existence, and to coordinate amongst all the economic ministries, to assist those economic ministries in the delivery of those existing programs. We are talking about programs that have leveraged jobs and leveraged investments in this province, and at the same time, obviously, we want to work with those businesses that are facing new challenges as a result of the events, particularly the last few months, and I'm happy to elaborate that in my supplementary.
Speaker, there's nothing new. The minister is still apologizing for the 5-point flop plan. In fact, it sounds like the minister is just regurgitating the same old lines that his predecessor tried to feed the people of Ontario. Minister, if you have nothing new to offer, wasn't the cabinet shuffle just meaningless? Don't you think that given all that's happened in our province and our economy, you should start adjusting, rearranging, changing the old approach? Or are you simply just a new face for the Premier's 5-point flop plan?
Minister.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, it is quite right that the government is engaging with industry leaders and with companies and with the federal government, spoken to the new federal industry minister and meeting him as well, to, in fact, make those adjustments. You are seeing already in the investments of Next Generation of Jobs, the point being that they're investments in the next generation of jobs. In other words, those jobs with the creative class skills, those jobs with industries that are, in fact, in a position particularly right now to be growing. Those adjustments are being undertaken on an ongoing basis. They are reflected in the decisions made on the administration of these programs. They are also reflected in the economic policy as it is unfolding in this government, and as you will see in the weeks and months to come, and of course leading up to the budget of next year, in fact, that emphasis on that next generation of jobs becoming even more intensified. This is, in fact, yes, a crisis with challenges.
Final supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. I find the answer disappointing. We're well into the difficulty that this province is facing, and you're only now just starting to think about those things. There's no promise for the future. For instance, I wonder what he makes of the recent statements made by the Minister of International Trade. She said that Ontario needs the United States to recover, that our fortunes are forever linked. But the TD Bank says that we can't rely on the U.S., that what we need to find is our own ways to write our own economic destiny. Minister, who do you side with? Should we seek a bold new vision, or should we continue down the same McGuinty path of dependence on the U.S. economy?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, firstly, the Premier right now, as we speak, is in China, leading in Ontario, and in fact, in many ways, leading a national delegation. But I'll say, let there be no mistake. If the member is suggesting that Ontario no longer needs to have a positive trade relationship with the United States of America, then he's wrong. TD is certainly not saying that. Certainly, our fabulous Minister of International Trade is absolutely right that, in fact, as our relationship and trade and exports with the United States grows, so will Canada. I'm happy to speak with a member about these issues, but more importantly, to talk about the millions of dollars that have been invested in Ontario by businesses and those jobs that have been created because of the programs that have been in place under this government for several years, and there's more to come, Mr. Speaker.
Question, the member from Niagara West, Glanbrook.
Where's the second order?
Development. Minister, on October 22nd, the